Okay, are you live?
Wait 1 minute before you start.
All right. Okay, so hi everyone. So welcome to today's class. So today we're teaching about CRUD in Django. So we're going to start. Well, today we're going to creating a basic blog application. So for the basic, we'll learn how to create a post, read a post, update a post, and then delete a post. So welcome. So first of all, I'll create my directory where I'll be hosting where all the source code will be. Okay. If and people are flowing. Hello, Femi. Hello, Femi.
Hello, Charlie, you're live.
All right, so I'm going to be sure and no. So first we have to install Django, and I'm using pipe env for the virtual environment. So you can use virtual env or the built-in virtual environment that Python comes. But I prefer the pipe env package, so that's what I'll be using. So I'm waiting for the Django for it to install Django. All right, so it's done. So the first thing I have to do is create a Django, activate the shell. So take note of this blog here because this is to show that it has activated the virtual environment for me. So now I can perform all the Django commands. So I'll create the first project. Then the dots at the side means I should create it in this particular directory. So if I list, you can see my config file is here and then the manage.py is there. So now I can do the Python manage.py run server. I can see my Django project is live. It's live already. So now let me minimize this and then continue and stop the server. So I have to create the first project, the first app. So in Django there's already this project and there's app. An app can be in multiple projects. And sorry, a project can contain multiple apps, and also an app can be in multiple projects also. So I'm going to create the first app, which is going to be a blog. So I'm going to do Python manage.py start app blog. So I'll run migration. So this migration lesson is one that comes with Python, that comes with Django already. So when I start writing models, I have to run some migration and make migrate and all the other commands. So this is just the default one that comes with Django. So now let me open the project. So as you can see, Django, when I did the start app, I see some files are already here for me already. So yeah, this is where the migration file is a module where each migration file is going to be stored. So if I write a model and I run Python manager and make migration, there's going to be a generated file here already for me. And then this is the admin. This is where I'm going to register and everything I'll go to that's going to show on the admin dashboard. So this is for the apps, models, tests. That's if you want to write them unit testing or any test I want to write, here I'll put them inside the test.py file. So this is the views for each particular page they're going to be ranging. This is where it's going to be. So this config folder is Django settings. That is the project settings. This is the app and this is the settings. And you can see that the icons are different. This DJ means that this is a Django project. This is the project specific settings. And then what I'm using, then here you can see the advantage of using pipe, the pipenv package. This logs the specific version of Python running and also the shard, that is it encrypts it also, so that another person can also run it and also give them this same package, this same version of Django I'm using. So let's start. So the first thing I would like to do is to add app to the list of installed apps. I'm going to add it here. So I can do it blog. So I'm going to do it here blog. Yeah, save it. It's still going to render the same thing. So now when I want to create a blog, you know that specific field that must be contained in the blog. Like now, who posted an article? That is the author. Then the title of the article. That's the title of the article, and then the body. That's the content of the thing. So that's where you're going to start from. So for you to do that, it's going to be inside the models.py file. So I'm going to create the first modernized class post. Models.model. As it's inheriting from this place. So child feed is character feed. All this simply means is that this is going to be a field, a test field. So it's only test and numbers that can be there. If you want it to be only numbers, you can change it to be in integer field. So just leave it as character field. Then we'll set the length, the maximum length of how many characters can it contain. So I'll leave it at 200. Then the author, that is the person that who wrote, who's going to the author, this person that is going to write the post. So modern dot foreign key. All right. So let me briefly explain what each of these code does. So as I said earlier, mod title is equals to models of child field. And this is going to be a character field. It's going to be a character field. Auto equals to model of foreign key. What's model of foreign key is that you're linking a user to you're making a user an author also. That means if you have a user, right, when we reach the admin side, where we have to create a user that's going to be managing the admin dashboard. So the user now can be linked to a post, can be linked to a post. That's what all this simply means. And then the models.cascade means that once you delete that user, every post attached to the user should be also deleted also. And if, for example, I, Charles, now has an account in, in the dashboard already, and then have some blog posts already. So when they delete me, my user, that means all the blog posts attached to me should be also deleted also. And so this what it is a model.test field. What this simply means is that it's going to be a wide space, but the test field is bigger than character field. So, like for example, now when you're writing HTML now, you can do a text box. A text box is it looks like an input field also, but it's larger than an input field also. So that's what this is simply means. That the text field is going to be bigger. That means the text field now can contain as many characters as possible. You can see I do not set a maximum length for it. That means you can span out to any amount that you want it to. And then for those that did the OOP class, you know that you use this dunder this string. Yeah. So what this simply means is that when I render it in the admin dashboard, it should display the title on the admin dashboard. So you will see it best when we get into the admin dashboard. So now, as I said earlier, we need to make migration. We need to make migration for it. So for every model you write, you need to make migration for it. So I'm going to create my first migration. Create migration blog. That is, blog is the app. So you can see it's created in migration file in the migrations folder. So if I come here, you can see it's created the migration file here. And this thing is, you can see the name of the migration is post. That means it's used this class post. And then the fields, it gave it an ID, a title, and then the body and auto. So all this is that way here, it just gave done this for us the way Django can understand. So that's to migrate. After making migration, I have to migrate also. So yeah, database is configured. So currently the default one is Django is using is SQLite. So that's how it is there. You can also configure it to use Postgres or MySQL. You configure it, yeah. You configure it to use any of them. So any engine, go to the Django documentation. So yeah, under database. can configure it to use so yeah, I can configure it to use anyone I want to. And also, you should also be familiar with using the documentation because the documentation really helps. Like for example, if you don't understand, if you don't know how to change the tab, you can come to the documentation. You see the way I signed it and then search it also. The documentation is a very helpful guide when working with Django, and it has one of the best documentation. So So you can see, I think Django has a built-in admin dashboard. So currently now, I can't access it. Even if I type name, I can't access it because it's incorrect username. So what I have to do is I have to create a user here. And any user created here is a super user. So I'll do Python manager, I create super user. And then set the username to be admin. And then the email address is, let's say, admin@gmail.com. So let's do password. All right. So now I've logged in. So now this is the admin dashboard. You can see here, this is the admin dashboard. You can see the new user created. So if I register the model, to the admin dashboard, it's going to display a tab for the models to be displayed here also. So yeah, let me minimize it and let's go back to the code. So for me to make it to display, you have to register it here in the admins.py file. So I'll register it here. Post admin website, the register. So you can see one beautiful thing is that it's restarting by itself. So if I come here and I refresh, you can see the blog here is the project, and then you can see that it has a post feed already. That means from this class, from the class we created in the models, they created all these things for us. Then I can create a post, and then you see the feed I provided there. That means the title, I can put the title. I can see the text feed, the models.text feed. I can see I have the ability to increase the size and then make it bigger. I have the ability to increase the size and just like that's the advantage of the text field. And then I was telling you about the foreign key. You can see I created a super user, but then that is the only way I can select it as an author here because of is a foreign key. But then that is when it's one mapping. So yeah, the models is already registered. So let me just create a blog post. So let the author to be me, and then my first blog post, and then let me save it. You can see is returning the title here. Why is able to return this title here is because of this. Because of this, I created, because of this field I declared there, this method I declared here. So I told it to return self.title. So that's how it's returning the title. Title is hello world. That's how it's able to return this title for me here correctly. So let me create one more. Switch on and then Django. So yeah, two blog posts. So now another thing I want to do, I need to create a URL file. So normally each app is supposed to come with a URL file. In your earlier class, the tutor there is mentioned it there that he like creating a personal in each app should have their own .urls file. So that's what I'm going to do here. And then I'll now register it in this project URL file. So video into so I've now created this view, but let me just import this because I'm going to create the class after creating this. So let me configure a path for it. So yeah, I'm using a class-based view here. If not, as long as not using a class-based view, I would have just I can also use a function-based view, but I prefer using a class-based view. So that I'm using here. Let me give it a name because of the documentation. So this thing is going to be useful when you want to when you're defining routes inside your HTML file. So it's going to be very, very helpful in that part. So now in the config.url file, I need to register this there also. So yeah, include. So now let's go to the view. Now define the route. So let me okay. So I was asked to use a class-based, a function-based view. I'm coming, just give me a minute. Okay. So let me go to the views. For the views now, let me import the models. Okay, sorry.
Oh, hello, Charlie. I don't know if you're already speaking, but we can't really hear your voice. Your audio is very low.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
All right. So there's a little bit of network problem, but I'm sure it's going to be good. Okay. So I'm being told I should use function-based view for you guys. Okay, so I'll continue with the class-based view. So there's a built-in functions that Django has created for you already. So that helps us in using this class-based view. And then when you get to use class-based view, you enjoy it and see your code is kind of simpler and shorter than using function-based view. But it's a matter of preference. But I prefer using the class-based. But the assignment can use the function-based view, but anyone that suits you best can use that. But make sure to do your research. So yeah, this is the template name I'm writing here also. So yeah, I've imported the class-based view. So this is going to be a list view. A list view is just for listing things or just for listing things. So there's going to be a you can only this only accepts a get request. So you can't say you want to update and use this list view. That's why it's list. You can see on the helper here, see it's used to render some list of objects. So you just use it to just list a bunch of files from the database. And then the template name this is going to be the home template. So currently is not yeah. So let me create it. So let me create a template directory. And then the search. So let me create a home directory also. So now let me update the settings so Django can know where to look for the template files in. So yeah, let me update. So now it's time for me to write some basic HTML for the code. So okay, you can see for this home to work here, I defined it here. That's how I'm able to use the name. So this name is something you need to define if you sure want to use some URL in your HTML files. So So now what I just did was I just created a base template. So what this means is that I can extend this template to home directly, to use home.html file. So anything I type inside this home .html file can also be it will be just injected into this place. So that is so this is just like a blueprint. Like for example, now some website has a navigation bar. So no matter the page you go to, that navigation bar is the same. So I can decide to create an navigation bar here, and this is where it's going to be. And then the other templates will just inherit that particular layout of how the website is. So this blog content is where other web page files will be injected into. So now let's repopulate the home.html file with some things. So let's extend this.html file. You can see I'm extending the base of HTML file here. And then I'm using the block contents here. Let me end block. So now I want to look through the post. So let me end the form method. So this object list here comes with list view. That comes with list view. So if you're using a class-based view, so this is an advantage. You can just see that our view is just how many lines? Just 3 lines. And then when we come, if you come to the and see it's rendering, it's helping us to render the code. So yeah, this is just the home base name. Yeah, this is the home.html file. So now it's not explicable because it's just listing it. You can see just this few lines of code. That's the advantage of using class-based view. So as I was using a function-based view, I'll write the database query inside here, then pass in some context for it to be used inside the HTML file. But here with class-based view, so just easier and shorter. So now you can see the blueprint is not looking nice. So let me just add some basic CSS to it. So that's why it's general for each developer to just know the basics of HTML and CSS. So you don't know where you need it and how you need to present yourself. So there's not like, okay, I'm a backend developer, so you can't just write basic HTML and CSS. So at most times you need to write a little bit of HTML, a little bit of CSS also. So now let me also make the static directory. So that's where our CSS, our JS file is going to be, both images is going to be inside here also. So now let me configure it in the settings. So yeah, static URL is equals to static. So now let me add it. So static files directory. Going to be string base directory dot join static. So yeah, this is just the basic configuration you need to do. Let me make directory CSS. Based on CSS. Okay, so now let me just add the basic styling in the place, just to change the title to be red. So here in the base file, you have to link the CSS here. So what you have to do first, you come on top of here, and then you load static. You load static. And then here we'll link in the style sheet here. So static. Base.css. So you can see here it's already reflecting. So it's reflecting, this section here is reflecting, it's kind of red color because it's a title. Yeah, that's just to show you how to link the CSS to your HTML file. Okay, so yeah, I'd not finished rendering it. So let me make the body too to display also. Yeah, so the content of each post is displaying on the website. So let's see, add some things to our CSS file. So let's add a text declaration. Text declaration of none. That means this underline should not be there. So I want to use a custom font. So let me just add it here. So it's not a style sheet, so you don't need this part there. Now you just need the URLs of. So just hold on with me. So just write some basic CSS. So we have not started using these classes now. But let me just add the CSS. So that it won't take our time later. So also you can see the font has changed from what it was before. That should show that our CSS is working, and also our font, the font we are using is working also. So now let's add the ability to, like, when someone clicks this link, it should render, it should carry to each particular page. So let's do that. So for that now we need to, like, create a detailed view for that. So let's go back to our views here, and then we'll create another class for it. So the first one created was the class-based view. So let's create the detailed view for each blog post. So I'm going to use the detailed. Let's import it here. So let's import the detailed view. And then we define the model to be post. And then the template here, we're going to use another template post. So now let's create the template. So let's extend it like what we did before. So extend the base.html, and then we'll use the block content again. But this content can be anything. Why I'm using content there is because I defined it here to be block content. So you can change it to anyone you want. So let's end the block. So when you open a block, you make sure to end it. So let me add a div post entry. So h2 post.title, and then the post post.body. So you can also use, instead of this poster object, and it doesn't work the same way. So now it don't work because we have never configured the route and everything. So let's update the route. Sorry, not here. So let's define it here. Let's define it here also. So /int pk. This pk is just like the primary key. So this bracket, this angle bracket here is just for it to say that it's going to accept a parameter. That means if like now when you are creating a blog post, the first URL is going to have a primary key of 1, the second one primary key of 2, and so on and so forth. So all these sequences that when you do post/1, you should give it the content of the first blog post. So yeah, now also use it. You should also render. Let's import it, blog detail view, and then we use it here. Blog detail view dot as view. So put your parentheses there, and let's give it a name also. So in case we want to use it inside our templates, we can easily do that. Actually, we're going to use it because if not, all the link will be dummy. So let's do that. And then they come at the back. So now let me try it and see. Post/1. Sorry. Okay. Also, this first bracket I did there. So you can see it gave us the first blog post. And also if I do to give us the details for the second one. Then if I use file the key that's on there to give us a pop-up precise page number. And so we have to take note of this error page, because this Django error page tells us plenty information. So now it tells us page number. That means now there's no post with the primary key of 5. So if you take note, this yellow and gray page I've seen is very, very helpful. And it only shows when you're in debug mode. So because of you're still coding in your system, so it's going to be in debug mode. But when you want to move it to production environment, so you should also know you have to change it. Let's change it around there. So you're supposed to change it around there, debug first. So when I'm when I'm hosting the code, I'm pushing to production, you know you have to change it there. So it's a very vital part in Django. So then let's update the link on each block on the home page. So when you click here, it should just automatically us to the blog post. So for that, I have to go to the home.html, we'll define the template here, sort it. So it's going to be inside this ahref. So it's going to be here, URL post detail, and then the post dot pk. So now let's refresh it. I see it's taking us now to the correct home page. So now our links are working. So now I've been able to create, actually you can create from the database, but with time, as I advance, I'm going to show you how to create on the main page here. So now I see I've been able to create, and now I've been able to read posts. So by this listing, I'm able to list. So now what we'll have to do, well, as we progress, I want to do the updates. So also you can also write unit test and just basic test for this place. So let's just write a basic test. So test is among best practices for you to do when I'm writing any web application, any application. In fact, test is a very vital part. So let's write some tests. So now let's import the user model. And then let's also import the URL. And then let's also import the model. So this is going to be setup. So your user dot object dot then create and just create. So username, let's create a dummy user for it. Then email for the user. Password. So let's create a post. Save the post. Post dot objects dot create. So let's give it a title. So body. Really just testing if it's a string. Then okay. So I'm coming. So yes, let's test the content. So each test must start with the test keyword first before the word. You can see PyCharm is able to know that it's a test because of this test that prefix it. So that's why it gave me this play button for me to test it also. So I'm not done writing the test if I would have tested. So this test is also a very important part. So I'll be sure your code runs as expected. Not that you say it's running on my system, it's not running on my system. So that's why it's good to write test. So any correction you're making, make sure your code passes the test. A good time soon. Self, the post, author. Same.asset. Hello, Femi. Hello, Femi.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, can we check if people are following like from the YouTube chat? People are following.
Yeah, sure, of course. Let's continue.
All right.
If there's any question, I'll let you know.
Okay. Okay, now so let's check the post listing. If it's listing. Well, I did not get this question, or how do you make your pie chart HTML to satisfy another file? So I installed some extensions. So there are some extensions that are configured in my PyCharm. Like my team, I'm using material 10. That's what make it to have this kind of icon. And then I install some extension. So let me see. So in case you want your editor to look like mine, let's say I'm using the Dracula thing. So there are some extensions that I installed. So yeah, the item is one that is making the icon to look like this. So we'll soon be done. We'll just finish writing this test. So let's test the detail page also. So no underscore response. So send as asset equal no response. So this is supposed to return a status code of like when we did this, that the current that the block was not to that instance, it found us a 4. Now defining that if so asset contains response title. So now let's try running the test. So yeah, our test passed. Yeah, our test passed. So the test runs successfully. If not that, you can see test passed, all tests passed. So yeah, we are good to go. That's our code is in check. So now let's continue. So now we can just do Python manage test. So yeah, around 4 tests, everything passed. That's another way of doing it. Okay, so now let's move on to the creating part. So yeah, you have to deal with using our forms and creating forms to use to create new posts. So then let's put another link for post. Oh yeah. So yeah, we don't currently have this URL yet, but let's define it because I know I want to define it. Post underscore new as to create a new post, and then let's give it a title of new blog post. Yeah, it's going to. I was expecting this error because I've not created the new, so it won't render. It just render its error. So now let's go to the URL. So I've never created the view yet. So let's add it. So let's add it. So I will create the view because I'm going to create it. Let's give it a name. So now let's go to the view and then create the view here. So model, still going to be the same model. Template name going to be post underscore new .html. Then the fields, those fields we defined, that is going to be title, author, body. So let's be sure this is not going to be rendering an error again. Okay, comma here. So yeah, everything is F8 standard. So now let's create the template. So this is going to be post underscore new. So since we have this, yeah. So this is a new block. So let's, time is no longer on our side. Let's extend it. Extend base.html. Then block content. And block. So H1 post from action method post to post. So yeah, this CRS of CRS RF token is a security feature of Django. So because of some people cannot be able to easily hijack our code. That is the use of this CSRF token. So if you come to the Django documentation, you can search it there, and then you learn more info about it. If there was time, we would have looked over it, but there's currently no more time. So let's render the form as a paragraph. So input type, submit. Value save. So yeah, let's close the form. So this formula of CSRF is cross-site request version. So Django uses it to protect our form so it cannot be hijacked and everything. So the method post is used like when you are going to be sending a request. So you are going to be sending a field, sending some data into the database. So that is going to make it a posting because you are posting data into the database. Why, as we are using get is used for fetching things. For fetching the form.as underscore p is used to start the form will be rendered as a form of paragraph. So now if I refresh and I click the new post, you can see here it's rendered, it's still allowing to choose the admin. So you can see here our form is created just from like this. So you can see the button. So it's just pretty basic. So let's try and type in some things and select an author. Just type in some things and save. See, it's going to render an error because this error is used to start because you do not tell it where it should go to, where it should send that data to. That's what this error is. Error is used for. I see this, any error you see on Django is very, very useful, very, very important because it tells you what is wrong with your code. So you can follow the suggestion here and add a get absolute URL method to the model in addition to the string method that we have there. So let's do that to them. Let's go back to the model and add the suggestion that Django has given to us. So let's add a get absolute URL. So return reverse. So let's import the reverse here before we can be able to use it. From Django.urls, import reverse before we can be able to use it here. So I want you to return me back to the post, sorry, to the post detail page. And then give it an args. And then save dot ID. So let's say now. You can see here it's sent me back to the page. And it's no more throwing me that error. So it's going to be 4 times because I went back and then we sent it. So I can go and go to the back to the admin dashboard and delete it. So now this is, now I've covered to create, now I can be able to create blog post. Now it's listing blog post. So now the next one is create, read, update, and delete. So it still remain updates, how to update it, and then to delete it. So now let's check let's cover the updates. So now let's add a link to the detail page so that you can also edit it there. So let's add it. Ahref URL post underscore. It's going to be post underscore edit. And then we need the primary key of the thing or the post for us to be able to delete it. So let's pick it. Edit blog post. So I've added it. Now let's add the logic and let's create the template. Edit. So we have created the template. Now let's work on it. So as regular, extend base.html, then block content, then regularly end block. So then let's add the title, edit, post. So form. The method here is still going to be best and post because we're still sending data. We're not just rendering it, we're also sending data to it. So since we are going to be dealing with data and forms, we need to also include the CRS TSRF token. So as Django can secure it for us on .asp s_p. So submit value here is going to be update because we're updating data. So let me update it. So now let's configure the route and the view. So we'll go to the use.py to add it here. So now since we're updating view, so let's give it the title class blog update view. As we are using functional based view, this part would have been very, very long, full of code now by now. That's also an advantage of using a class-based view. So let's do update view. So model is still going to be our post model. Template name. So we've created the template already. So it's still going to be post underscore edit.html. Then the fields are going to be editable. We want the title and the body to be editable only. So let's add it. Title, sorry, the title and the body field. So what else? So it's using the update view method. So now let's add it to our URL. Our URL is going to be blog update view. And then let's add it here. But then still going to be the post. Then here we need the primary key of it. So we use the PK, sorry, primary key. Then / edit / again, and then blog update view.as view, and then give it a name of post underscore edit, and then our comma. So now let's try and refresh. Okay. So then I can see you can edit post. So yeah, still going to return an error. Let me check why it's giving this error. Okay, sorry. So the error is from my template. For my view, sorry. I expect it wrongly, no wonder. So yeah, I can see now it's rendering correctly. So you can see how that template page was very, very helpful in me checking to see what is wrong with my code. So now the final one is the delete view. So now I've been able to see how to create a view, how to update a view, and how to delete, and I've learned how to create a view, read a view, and then update. So the last one now is delete view, and that will be the end of the class. So now you can decide to extend it and add a notification feature, and someone has to log in to view a blog post and add the rest like that. So for delivery, let's add a link so someone can be able to delete it from here also. So let's add it here. And that href link URL. So here it says going to be post underscore delete. underscore delete. We're still also going to need okay. Hello Femi, can you hear me? If you can hear me, yeah, I've done it. I've made it to host. So let's continue the code. So now we need this thing, the primary key for us to be able to delete it. And then also the delete blog was, let's give it the title. And then now let's create this URL and create everything that I need. So let's start with the template. It's going to be post delete. So as normal, let's extend the base.html, and then the block contents, and then end block. And so method, because it's going to take in the primary key, so we still need so it's still going to be a post request. So we have to ask in person, are you sure you want to delete it? Are you sure? Sure you want to delete? And then there's the post line. So the input type. And submit. The value here is going to be confirm. The person can be sure. So yeah, the daily page is ready. And let's create the view and define the routes, and then that is going to be a wrap up of today's class. Yeah. So first, let's first of all import it here. Let's import the delete view. And then extend it here. Then the model is still going to be the post. The template name, we created the template name is going to be post underscore delete .html. Then let's give it a success URL. And when it's successful, where should it redirect to? So let me import the reverse lazy method. So let me import the URL. Import reverse lazy. The reverse lazy, where should it direct me to? It should direct me to the home page. So finally, let's map the URL and to be a wrap up of today's class. So it's going to be almost going to be the same thing with this, just a minor edit. So instead of edit here we delete, and then instead of blog update here, it's going to be blog delete. So let's see what I named it as. Okay, blog delete here. Oh, sorry, I've not imported it here. So blog delete here, and here it's going to be blog delete here as well. And here is going to be post delete. So let's go and let's try and delete. Let's try deleting this. Yeah, I actually want to delete. So forbidden token. Okay, it told me that because I did not add the CRS FR token here. So you can see how the error message also helped me here again. So yeah, everything is set. So let me try deleting it now. See, hope it does not show me that error. Yeah, so you can see. So now we're able to create a post, update a post, and also delete and update, delete, create, read, and update it. So yeah, we've come to the end of today's class. So if you have any question, you can ask it in the back end of Python class. And you can also extend it to add as many functionality as you want. If you decide to add pagination or any other thing. So this is just the basic. I believe you can do more things. And then you can still come here and add more tests for the ones we just created. You know, the test we did there was just for the list view and then the detail view. So you can still add more for the delete and update view also. So yeah, so this comes to the end of today's class. Hello, Femi, are you there? Hello, Femi.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah,